Okay guys, so we've got a new camera to go along with all the new content recently. Sort of added that in as a surprise really. So today's video is on the Bersa Thunder 9 Pro. Now, this is a real gun in real life, but the real gun itself is also based off of the Walther CP99, I think it's called. It's also very similar to a P226, but almost miniaturised in a sense. Manual of arms wise in the real terms, but that's not why you're here. You're here because you should probably search this up because it's quite an affordable airsoft gun, or air gun, depending on which model you got. So you're going to see if it's worth getting. In my opinion, I think it is, because the only other air gun that's actually affordable that can sort of compete with this would be the DX17. This is a Springer. You have to press this release and cock it each time. It's cool looking, as you can see, but it's very light, and the only metal on here is this. So I definitely would recommend this as well as a starter, but there is a little bit of finickiness to this. Get used to it. So. But yeah, so it's made by ASG, so you know it's good quality straight off the bat. It's got a unique serial number. It's non-blowback, so the slide doesn't move. It's got an accessory rail, and it fires steel BBs. It's easy to load. The grip comes back. It says it's got a threaded outer barrel, so might be able to add the suppressor onto that. 3-dot sight system, and made in Taiwan. So it says it has a threaded outer barrel. Now I usually use this for all my testing. It's actually got dented over the years from me screwing it on some stuff, but it's always worked well for me, to be honest with you. So we'll see if this screws on, just because it says that on there. But yeah, what else does it say on here? 1-to-1 scale assembled model air gun. We'll flip it on the back. We've got some writing here. You can pause that and read that if you like. It's also all the specifications here. 400 feet per second right out the box, so it's quite hot. Usually non-blowback guns are a little bit hotter, so you do have that in mind. So it's, you do get a plus with that. But yeah, that's all the markings and specifications. Let you read all of that. And yeah, that's it pretty much. So lift it open. We've got the this just is like a booklet of all different ones you can get. I really want the CZ ones. These are quite expensive. I've got my down west on here. I'm sure a lot of you have seen that. It's one of my top viewed video. And yeah, we've got some other ones here as well. Here's all the down westerns. And the user manual. There's some other Bersas you can get with some blowback, which is cool if you want something with blowback. These aren't the same gun. These are the BP9s. You get a non-blowback and a blowback version. I'm guessing that will probably be the same price, but I haven't seen this for sale anywhere. So maybe if you could see this for sale, probably pick one of these up too. The blowback one will be about £130, probably a bit more. And it's got, your basic user manual, all the rundown of everything inside. Safety instructions. Make sure you read these if you're, new to shooting and you're, fairly young getting into it. Definitely worth reading all of this, because it's just handy to know. And, you can pause this. If you don't have a manual with yours, you can easily just pause this and go back and forward between that part and just do that. Got my transfer number and everything there, and my receipt, and there it is inside the box. And make sure you get enough CO2 to go with it. I've got quite a few in there. Also recommend getting just a cheap universal holster to go with this too. That's quite nice. This should go quite nicely with it. And there it is in the box. There's nothing else in there. There's some bubble wrap holding it in, and that's it pretty much. There we go. So nothing else in there. Sometimes you get some BBs and stuff. This is a fairly cheap one, so you don't get any of that, unfortunately. But I do recommend getting some steel BBs. I am going to try some different ones too. These are my go-to, my Remingtons. Steel BBs, gold, steel plated. Yeah, Remington's a really good company, obviously. But I really want to try these if I can get them out. These are lead ones. These are training Gammo rounds. They call them fun rounds, but they're just lead BBs. They're a little bit heavier. Depending on what airgun you use, these can actually be better. I don't believe this is rifled. Don't think we can sort of check with the camera. This isn't pointed at me, but yeah. And doesn't look threaded. That does not look threaded. I don't know why it says it's threaded. It says it on the box. Threaded outer barrel. The outer barrel would be this part. So we'll just try that. No, that's not. I don't believe that to be threaded, to be honest with you, because this is quite a small thread anyway. And yeah, that doesn't seem to be going on there. Now, of course, you will get the sticker on there as well. This is the 2.6 dual one, so it's quite hot. There are videos with how to make this a little bit hotter. I don't recommend doing it due to if it's not legal in your state or country, and you can actually damage your airgun too, and it won't be valid in your with taking it back anymore. So if you do break it, it won't be valid for that. So we've got a couple of rounds to try, and the gases I've got are Umarex, so they're pretty good quality. So overall, look at the gun. It's quite good looking. You can see, even though it's plastic, you can't really tell unless you like get super up close. But even then, it still looks pretty good. Now, the cool thing about these grips is if you want a different coloured grip, you can just take these grips off. Still brand new. I haven't got this out of the box yet, so everything's still stiff. But you can just pry these off, and you could spray paint these a different colour or paint them, hand paint them. Obviously, this is how you put your gas in. You do have to remove your magazine first. This is a safety thing, I believe. But that's quite cool. So there's no safety or any movable parts on this side. This would be your decocker and safety, and that would be your slide lock. This would be a takedown pin here. And then, same on this side, it would be on both sides. But on here, your safety is a push button, and you have to actually push it. You can flip it off on safe quite easily, and then to take it off safe, you actually have to push it in and then go across. So you can put it on safe really easily, and then you have to sort of just push against it. It's quite easy for left-handers. You can just use your support hand, and then if you're right-handed, you can just use your trigger finger. So not too bad. Can't reach it with your thumb left-handed, but that's fine. And you can see that they're painted quite nicely, so you can tell what's safe and what's not. Not bad, but I would prefer it to be here, so that's one knock on it technically. But the licenses and everything written on it is really nice. Of course, you can see my serial number. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. Yeah, they serialise most air guns now because most people, I say most people, most countries actually have a problem at the moment with drug takers, I should say, using these to rob shops with, so not the best. So that's obviously a way to track them and get them, basically. But it looks a bit more realistic, I guess, with a serial number on it. But we got the caliber on there. We also got where it was made. Argentina obviously is where the Bersas are. The real Bersas are made. I think this would cost more, and I think it would probably be made of metal and stuff if it was made in Argentina. We've also got the caliber on the barrel there, but it's all moulded really nicely. Like, you can't tell that the slide doesn't move back. It really looks nice. I really like the markings on both sides. It says the Thunder Pro, Thunder 9 Pro on the side there, and then Bersa on the grip. And the Bersa logo kind of reminds me of the Milbro logo a little bit. And yeah, and the rails there too. The trigger is metal, and then the rest of this is moulded in. The actual hammer's moulded in too, surprisingly. But the sight picture's really nice. The dots on there are really nice. It picks up really nice on the front there. If I can get the camera to focus on that front sight. There we go. And that's how you aim. You focus on that front sight, and you get a perfect sight picture every time. So yeah, you can see that's a really nice sight picture. Plenty of space there, and you can obviously use these to rest your thumbs on, and you get a nice grip. So yeah, it feels like a smaller 226 to me, especially if you hold it like that too. The magazine release is on one side only. It's quite stiff. It's quite nice. It drops freely as well, so you can buy extra mags. Again, as well, this is made of metal. The base plate is made of like polymer though. Really nice looking polymer too. And it's got the logo on it, ASG and Bersa. It's really nice how they've done that. It's like combined both of them together to make this nice replica. And then you've got a spring catch, and it actually locks as well if you push it all the way down far enough. I just got a bit of a pain trying to do it. There we go. And then you can either pour them in or drop them in the top, and you've got this should be spring loaded. Yeah. So yeah, it's really nice. It says the calibre at the bottom there, 177. And that's how it feeds in there. So that is the unboxing section. I'll show you with the holster as well what it looks like. It fits really nice in there, to be honest. And then you've got the little Velcro strap. It just straps over there like that. And there you go. You've got your holster, and you've got separate magazine slots there as well, so you can just put your mag in there or here. Depending on how many mags you've got, you can put quite a few in this one. So, and there's one here too. So yeah, quite a few different holsters for your mag. But yeah, this is a really nice made magazine, I think. It looks like it's been screwed in place too. So yeah. So this is the next part of the video, and just showing the holster first. And if you notice, I've got this on a reverse draw, so you can draw this from the other side this way. But what I've also noticed is this isn't a reverse draw holster. I figured out two ways to have this thing. So you can have this as a right-handed holster, this Milbro one. So we have like the normal right hand, like I say, and if you don't want it as a right-hand holster, which you can do it as, but what I find is your fingers kind of get stuck, and you kind of have to draw it a little bit awkwardly before you get hold of it, which isn't great because you kind of don't get a full grip until it's out of the holster. So another way to remedy that is using it this way. The Velcro still works with this gun too, and then your fingers aren't blocked then, and you can draw it the proper way. Doesn't work very well with my XD or with a 1911. With anything with a grip safety or anything with a large grip, it kind of doesn't go around it. It only just goes around it, even with the right way around. So yeah, really good holster though. I like the fact that you can do it both ways, because it's still usable, especially with a revolver or anything like that, with a grip that kind of comes out a bit more. It's easier to sort of grab it out the holster. But this Velcro does help it. It stops people from being able to take it, so quite good. Right, now before you use this, this is another safety thing I want to add in before we go straight into that. Before we go straight into the shooting, I mean. But you don't want to use a lot of air guns straight out of the box, because you don't know how long they've been sat on the shelf or in storage for. Some air guns have actually had dust on them, so you really want to make sure you invest in some silicone oil. This is just some I put in a bottle, and you want to just put them in the seals and put some in the barrel. Now, I've seen a lot of places say never to put oil in your barrel, like silicone oil. I've always done this because once I've done it, I let it run down into the rubber seals, which are in the chamber area. It really does help improve all of the health and the life of an air gun in general. So, in my opinion, since I've been doing this for years, I usually get a little dripper of it and I just drop it down in the barrel like that. It's not very much that's coming off of this, it's like a little drop each time. So I'm just getting it down into the barrel, and then if you've got a tube, you can literally just put that all the way down in there, smear that all down the barrel, and now your barrel's completely oiled, including the chamber, especially since you can't, you know, operate the slide on this. Obviously do this with an unloaded air gun, don't do this with gas in it. Open up your grip, turn it upside down, and put some in your seals that are there. Just tuck this in there so you can see. There you go, that's what you want to do it. Just in there. There we go. That should be enough. You just want to let that sit for a few minutes. You'll find with no gas in it will rattle, and that is just because this is just rattling around. So you kind of just want to let this sit like this and just let the oil do its thing. Okay, once you're doing that, you want to get your gas and just put a little bit of oil on that too, just like that, just to cover that top part. So when it punches it, it will release some gas into the air system as well inside of it. So you'll be protecting the gas seals on the outside and then the seals on the inside and getting a full coverage. With airsoft, when you use this gas, this already has oil already in it. So you don't really need to use it as much. I still recommend putting it on the rubber seals on the outside because this is for the inside. So once you've done that, open up your grip. You have to turn this around. Open up your tab. Each one's built differently on air guns. This one is more of a hexagonal, or it looks more like a loaf of bread, to be honest. But it looks like it usually bottom end first. This one actually goes top end first. Just from the way I can tell there. There we go. And that's a safety feature. That's just so it can't like shoot out. And so hold it in that way and just screw in the slack until it gets to a certain way. Once it's touching it and there's no movement, you're going to push it up against it, carry on going, go all the way. It's very tight. This actually is a lot harder than a lot of other air guns. I did hear a hiss, so just going to go a little bit extra. Once you hear a hiss, just go one little bit more just to make sure it's completely done. Now that should be ready to rumble. Put your safety on just to be certain. You've got a dead trigger now. And now load up your magazine. Of course we're just going to try the steel ones first, just because we want a function test. I don't know how many the magazine actually holds. I haven't actually tried that out. So that's 10 in there, so we could probably hold 20 by the looks of it. Like 20, 21 maybe. But we're going to load some lead BBs underneath this. I'm not going to shoot 10 straight off the bat, so what you can do is just wriggle it and you get some of your BBs to come out. There you go. So we've got 3 steel ones. Got 3 steel ones in there, and then we're going to put 3 lead ones in. Hit the bottom, hit the release on the bottom of the mag. That should release it. It's not actually doing it this time, probably because it's just new. Yeah, it's not moving. There we go. Flicked it. It's come down now. There we go. Just need a bit of a wriggle. You can load rounds in through the top like that. Just push one in because it fell out. Now that's ready to go. Insert that into your gun. Now I don't know. Yeah, a BB will drop out. that's just a test to see. And because I loaded 3 of each, I can see it only loads 1, so it will drop 1 BB every time you let the mag out. Okay, so we're going to take a step back. The target's about 1 foot behind the camera, and I'm going to take further steps back. Got the air gun in the holster loaded with gas in, as you saw, with the safety on, and we're just going to take a shot. And we probably will do all 6, and we'll just see. We'll see how well the steel ones shoot compared to the lead ones. Take the safety off, and now we're ready to go. That does have a nice pop to it, and I do feel some like recoil because this is a polymer gun. I do feel that up against the slide. That was dead centre, and it came out of the target, and so I'm about 12 foot away, and that still came out the target, and it's a captured target. So I'm going to take another step back, going to go pretty much all the way out the room almost, and just check the next shot. Trigger pull's not too bad, it's double action only, of course. Of course, remove your finger off the trigger when you've done firing. And that was another centre shot. And this is the last steel BB now. Let's try that. As you pull back, as you get about halfway through the trigger, you hear a click, and that's that round loading up from the mag into the chamber. And then the rest of the way you'll fire it. If you release that trigger and then do it again, you'll load another one. So you can double shot this. I'm not sure how well that will work. Might try that out. Now we're going to try lead BBs. So those fire. That should be empty now. Yep, empty. And we check the target. Not too bad. I'm guessing these are the steel ones, these are the lead ones. The impact difference. They do fire though. Didn't have any problems. Didn't sound like they were loaded with any problems. And if you look at the target, there's actually some oil on the target, and that's your barrel cleaning itself. So yeah, there you go. Steel BBs work, lead BBs work. So quite nice. Not sure what the power difference is, of course. I haven't tried that. This is just a function test, of course. Unboxing and function. But yeah, works quite nice. Now that it's unloaded, and I've dry fire it, you can see what I mean about the click. About halfway through, you get a click. And that click is basically allowing rounds to go into the chamber. So you can go and load 2, and then technically load 3 on the 3rd shot. We're going to try it. We're going to load 2 rounds in from the top of the mag. 2 rounds. Magazine in, safety on, in the holster. The nice thing about this holster is it does have nice retention as well. Even though the Velcro isn't on, you can still put it in there and it'll stay in there. Right. Now we're going to do... It's going to be an up-close shot, but that's just for accuracy really, because I don't want this spraying everywhere. Not super close, but enough to see the shot distance. That actually dropped both rounds. Yeah, not double feed. Maybe that's a safety feature, we'll try it again. 1, 2. Magazine in. Click, click. Yep, both rounds fell out the mag. Out the chamber. So I still hear a rattling. I don't know what the rattling is. Obviously you can't check anything. It's very doubtful that that's a BB in there because I did hear both rounds fall out. We'll load 1 round just as a function test. That seemed to fire okay. Do one from a distance just to make sure it's still got power. That actually dropped out the chamber too. So then let's try that again. So yeah, pretty good pistol to be honest. It's got good power and you can literally shoot this for up to like 50, 60 shots and it will just keep going and going and going. Accuracy's not too bad obviously, and the power's not too bad. The only thing you don't get is a function slide, but you can actually unscrew the screws and disassemble this if you really need to. But yeah, I'd rate this a 3.5 out of 5. If it only had, you know, some extra metal parts, maybe a movable slide or something like that, but for the price it's not bad, so that's why it gets a 3.5 out of 5. It's not bad, really not bad, and I'm glad that it can shoot lead as well, the lead BBs. The only doubt, obviously, it would be a 4 out of 5 if you could actually thread that silencer on. I haven't obviously found one that can thread on there. Doesn't look like there would be one either. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.